Alrighty, folks, I'm recording this the evening before you are watching it because I have a ungodly flight this tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock a.m. Quick day trip to San Diego to appear on a podcast. More on that later. But let's just talk about all of the Fed speak we got in the last 24 hours. We are starting to see who is who in the zoo. Also, we are starting to get insight into what metrics you and I should be watching so we can predict if different Fed presidents will change their opinion. Why don't we start with Fed President Bostic? Bostic has been very clear, and he said, I see little reason to cut rates any further. The current moment is the most difficult as both risks are rising. Of course, he is talking about inflation and unemployment. I see the unemployment rate at 4.5% by the end of the year and core inflation at 3.1%. Folks, pay attention to these numbers. These are important. There is frankly a chance that next Friday, so not this week, the next Friday, I think it's October 3rd, although don't hold me to that. It's something in early October. We could be at 4.5% unemployment already. Yes, there is a chance we go right from 4.3 to 4.5, given what we've seen in the weekly unemployment claims. And again, watch core inflation. So Bostic is telling you, hey, if we get to 3.1, that's danger. And if we get to 4.5, that's danger. Which one will we get to first? My guess, unfortunately, unemployment. I think there's a chance we could be there when the next numbers are reported. Bostic also says, I only saw one cut in 2025, aka no more cuts. Bostic was one of the 6 Fed presidents that said no mas, no more cuts in 2025. And he believes that the labor market is not in crisis, which is where I frankly disagree. I am shocked that Fed President Bostic isn't more concerned about the job market. But to be fair, he's not the most hawkish. Fed President Muslim, something like that, sees little room for more interest rate cuts. He overly accommodate we should tread cautiously. Again, Fed President Muslim says the Fed should tread cautiously with any additional rate cuts. Let's talk about Fed President Barkin. Again, lots of Fed speak, folks. We're trying to figure out who's who. Next up, Barkin says wage pressure is steadily coming down. I expect workforce growth to be flat. Again, flat. So we're not adding jobs. That is not good. It takes time for tariffs to go through. Yeah, we still hearing this tariff thing. Next up, let's talk about Fed President Moran. Now, of course, he is the latest Fed president, latest Trump nominee, and he is the Fed president that wants 150 basis cuts in 2025. He was the outlier on the dot plot. He expects rent inflation to fall from 3.5% today to 1.5% by 2027. That is a long way away. Again, I believe if you look at more up-to-date rent inflation, it is actually negative. So the fact that we are still talking positive all the way out to 2027 is a little bit shocking, in my opinion. Also, Fed President Moran says, unless something changes, I am willing to dissent again. He believes a series of 50-point cuts will recalibrate Fed policy. What about Fed President Hammack? I am not hearing about any significant layoffs. Oh, really? Oh, really? Inflation pressure coming back in goods and services. This is a warning. We have talked about this inside PPI where we were seeing services inflation. So Hammack is saying, pay attention. I expect another wave of price pressure early next year. So I would pencil Hammack is no cuts, no more cuts. I have one of the higher estimates of neutral. That is very interesting. Again, folks, neutral is this number that no one knows, that often pontificated, but is important. What Fed President Hammack said is we're almost there. What Fed President Moran is saying is we're nowhere close. So you can see there's a big gap between what different Fed presidents think neutral is. I am laser focused on inflation. Well, you have a dual mandate and you don't seem to be concerned about the job market, and that's going to surprise you. My general feeling is if I am right, and frankly, I hope I'm not, I really hope I'm not, the job market is in much worse shape than the Fed is letting on. On the labor side, we are pretty close to neutral. I'm not really sure what that means, but hey, there we go. Again, I guess what Fed President Hammack is saying is concerned about inflation, but not the job market. What else we got? I got so much stuff. Let's talk about the unemployment rate for 16 to 24-year-olds. It is now 13.8%, which is a shockingly high number. Goes all the way back to June of 2020. That is a high number. We also have this issue with H-1B visas. Again, I'm still reading on this. There's a lot going on, but apparently we are raising that fee to $100,000. Folks, if you don't know what this H-1B visa is, this is something that's leveraged a lot in the Silicon Valley. A lot of talent is imported for different tech companies. And in order to put a $100K cost on that, I think about what happens next. So what happens next for me is obviously less talent is imported. You can argue good or bad, but with less talent, you have less innovation. That is an easy thing to see being connected. But maybe, if you're a glass half full person, maybe this has an opportunity for U.S. citizens to get these high-paying tech jobs. We'll see. Again, the thing that's going to become very obvious with this high sticker price is only the highest caliber and the highest value jobs will get this. So I think we will stop having a lottery. As I understand the H-1B visas, and believe me, I am no expert. Right now, it is so open. It is basically a lottery system. If we put a $100K sticker price on this, I suspect not going to be a lottery system anymore, but I guess we will see. So again, more to come on the H-1B visa. I do think there's, depending on what side of the aisle you are on, it definitely seems like there will be less folks leveraging it. And then if there are less folks, there'll be less innovation. And maybe if you want to spin it the other direction, more opportunity for U.S. born to take those jobs. Again, we shall see where this goes. Not sure if you guys ever heard of something called Operation Twist. This is something PIMCO says we need to bring back. If the Fed would, instead of rolling off their balance sheet, would again rebuy, we could actually see mortgage rates fall 0.3%. I think their mortgage rates today are about 6.2 or 6.3. So by the Fed Operation Twist, we could get mortgage rates sub 6%. That according to the team at PIMCO. Next up, we got BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says America could dodge a retirement crisis by encouraging people to work past 65. Larry, I don't think you're going to have to encourage many people, because I think many people have to work past 65 because there's just not the savings there to do it. And then, folks, don't forget about our wonderful Vegas event. Our Vegas event is occurring February 14th and 15th. I'm giving you $100 in teachable credit, autograph book, and an October conversation. You are running out of time. This month of September will be the only time I give these awards or gifts away. So please buy your tickets. Remember, Pace Morby, Jason Hartman, just so many other people coming that you'll want to see. Let's congratulate somebody who joined school. Thank you, Harisha. Thank you for joining school. And just to give you a flavor of what we talk about, here are the last 5 forum posts. We have somebody talking about midterm rentals. We have a new member introduction from Austin, Texas, and North Alabama. We talk about bath remodeling. We have a new member from Nashville. And then finally, someone going through a refi and having questions. Folks, our school community is for everyday wealth builders. It is something I am very proud of. And again, if you are a landlord, never forget that Steadily is our sponsor of the daily financial news. Again, if you are a landlord, you have seen insurance go up. All I suggest is give them a chance, get a quote, see if they can help. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. But as a landlord, you should check it out and see if they can help you. Link in the description. All right, folks, take care. Have a wonderful day. We will be back at it on Wednesday. Later.